Hey directors, I just wanted to share how I prep for tin whistle. And so by prepping, I mean prepping myself to prep the tutors to teach tin whistle for quarter 2. There's lots of really good videos out there for the tutors to help them prepare. And that's actually one of the main places that I point the tutors to prepare. But I realize there's not very many videos, if any, for just the directors to know how to guide their tutors. So that's what I'm trying to do here. So number one, the foundations book, the lesson plans for each week are really good. So I tell my tutors, number one, to follow the lesson plan. Now there are some really great videos out there that go by that lesson plan and really help the tutors out thinking through different age groups and things that work well and things that don't. Our favorite ones are by Stephanie Laughlin. So if you go on YouTube, she has the 5th edition Tin Whistle week by week videos. So that's Stephanie spelled normal, and then Laughlin is Laugh, like laugh, and then Lynn, Lin. So Stephanie Laughlin. So check those out. And also I wanted to, for all of you guys who are less techno savvy, on YouTube you can speed up videos by clicking on the little gear that's in the bottom right. So click on the gear and then you'll see playback speed, and you can speed it up to as fast as you can handle. Sorry, my kids are being super loud. So tell your tutors that too, and as you're watching videos to help yourself, I tend to speed things up frequently because, you know, your time is precious and some people talk slower than what your brain can handle. So speed it up so you can get through stuff faster. So Stephanie Laughlin, I love. And then another one that I actually just discovered like a few minutes ago. It's just one video, but if you Google 10 Commandments of Tin Whistle, which I actually loved so much, I printed it and put it on the back of this notebook that I'm going to show you in a minute. But these are just really cute that the tutors could go through on their first day. But if you Google 10 Commandments of Tin Whistle, the first hit is this link, okay? So the very first hit takes you straight to the 10 Commandments. But the second hit, which is sort of like offset from that first one, so clearly it's with the first one, is called Tin Whistle Teaching Tips. And if you go there, she's got a YouTube video in there that I think is fantastic. It's just one video talking about introducing the tin whistle, and I thought it would be particularly good for kids that are like under 9-ish. So plus or minus, y'all know your kids, your tutors know their kids. And she had some really good songs about the parts of the tin whistle, and then also one about the staff where you talk about the different lines. So the lines rather, and then the spaces. So I had never seen that before. I thought that was really, really good. So you should check that out also. Okay, so then after you point the tutors to those videos, you know, and really remind them that this is your best friend, this is what's going to tell you what to do each week, remind tutors that after the first week, the way that Tin Whistle Time works is it's review of what they've already learned and then a little bit of new stuff. So it might even be mostly review, or maybe it's sort of like, you know, 40% review, 30% new, and then a good 10% of the time practicing our cycle song, our cycle specific song. So make sure they remember that, and it also helps to just relax the tutors to know they're not like teaching new stuff for the entire time. And you know, for a lot of the kids, they're going to already know this stuff because they've either been through foundations before or they play an instrument themselves. So, but just, so anyway, there are videos out there and the lesson plans that helps them know how to kind of scale that to the kids that they have. And it's still really fun. And if you get a class, like a full class of everybody, they all know what they're doing, then you can do your song, you can play your song, practice it rather, as a class for longer. Or maybe you can even go find another song out there on YouTube. They're very easy to find. You just Google Tin Whistle Key of D songs. You need to make sure you remember that our tin whistles that we use in CC are in the key of D. So whatever sheet music you find needs to be in the key of D or it's not going to sound right. Let's see, I've got my little notes here. Okay, and then in our community, on week 12, which is the last week of Tin Whistle, in our opening assembly, we always do a Tin Whistle showcase where we go class by class and they play us something. So like the littlest guys almost never have conquered the entire song, but sometimes like one of our littlest classes will sing the tin whistle song, and that'll be what they share. And another class does just the first line of our cycle-specific song. Up to the oldest kids who may have learned a totally different song because they conquered the cycle-specific song. So I always let the tutors know at the very beginning that we're going to do that, so that they have it in mind that that's what we're working towards, to have something to share on week 12. Not to stress them out at all, but to give them a goal of something to work towards. I wanted to share this really fast. I found this, I think I found it on CC Connected. This is Twinkle Twinkle Little Star, which is the Cycle 1 song, but this has 3-part harmony. So this would be really, really good for older kids because it's just stepping up. And I really like it because it's actually sticking with our cycle-specific song, but taking up to that next level of doing that harmony. So I hope our biggest kids will try that out so that we can see what that sounds like. All right, I want to show you my notebook. So I just Googled tin whistle images and I found this cute thing and I made it. It's very easy. I'm not going to share it with you because you can go make your own. This is super simple. Okay, I bought 1.5-inch binders. And then I found this. You can easily find this on Pinterest or wherever, A Survivor's Guide to Tutoring Tin Whistle. This just goes, and I go through this with my tutors at our tutor meeting. This just kind of runs through some of the things to make sure they do, like letting the kids blow off some steam, like literally just cacophony for the first couple minutes. Kids are usually itching to put their mouths on those tin whistles. So if you hold them off from that, you're gonna have it's gonna be even more of a struggle for to have them wait. So it usually helps. It's a big, some important advice to let them just play a little bit. Left hand on top. It talks about 3 hole punch reinforcement stickers. You guys remember those from when we were growing up. There were like little tiny dots that would go over your 3 hole punched papers, and you could put the dot over the hole if the hole had broken. You can actually put those over the tin whistle holes. So you would actually put them over offset so that they're blocking part of the hole. If you put them evenly over the hole, it doesn't block any of the holes. So you actually have to kind of offset them so that they're blocking part of the hole. And what that does is makes the hole smaller for tiny fingers. So tiny fingers have an easier time completely covering the hole. Because that's definitely one of the biggest challenges for the little guys, is completely covering all the holes at the same time. Talks about finger positioning. Not everyone has to play at the same time. Blowing bubbles, like for the little kids, might help them to blow bubbles to kind of learn the gentleness that we're blowing. We're not blowing really hard. Have fun. Be humble. So this is, I like this sheet. So you should Google this. A Survivor's Guide to Tutoring Tin Whistle. Okay, now the rest of everything that's in here is in your Foundations book. And you can print these from Office Depot. If you have an Office Depot account with CC, if you don't, you should get one. Then they're right in there that you can just print very easily, so they come out so nice, nicer than photocopying your guide. But photocopying your guide is fine too. So this is the D scale ascending, and then on the back. So I have these in plastic sheets, and I have 9 copies in here. That's 1 for every student plus a tutor. Okay, so that's what those pages are. And then we get over here to my second set of pages, and that's the tin whistle parts on the front and our cycle-specific song on the back. All right, and that's, again, I have 9, 8 for the students and 1 for the tutor. And the idea of having them in plastic pages is that the tutors can dry erase on them if they want, or let the kids dry erase directly on them if they want to. And usually there are some weeks where that's helpful, where they dry erase directly onto the pages, and then, being in a plastic sheet makes it easy to erase. It also protects the pages so I can reuse them. I've reused most of these every single year. I have to go through and I pull out ones that clearly kids were just like, totally wrecking, and that's fine. But I'm mostly able to reuse them because they're in the plastic pages. But tutors will obviously take these out and pass them out each week, and then they go back into the binder. That keeps them in good condition, traveling back and forth to their homes. And then I take these back up after quarter 2, and I store them. So I really think that is all. Oh, the last thing I want to do is I want to encourage you as the director to set the tone for tin whistle. There's a lot of like jokey, we hate tin whistle stuff out there, but if you let that seep into your community, even in a joking way, I think that it really communicates that tin whistle is miserable and no fun, and it can cause anxiety for the tutors, and it can make parents dread tin whistle. And I don't think that's a good thing. I think that we as directors need to be setting the tone that tin whistle is wonderful, that it teaches music theory, which is a really good life skill that a lot of us don't have. So we can be grateful that our kids are getting the opportunity to learn this, especially for those of us who don't have our kids in music lessons otherwise. They're getting this every single year. So by the time they are done with foundations, they're going to have a decent understanding of music theory, more than some of us who totally lost that growing up. So keep your attitude about it really positive. And if you have tutors that love tutoring it, which I have one, and she's been tutoring it for a while, really let her talk and share. And that's another big thing we do at the tutor meetings, is that experienced tutors talk about what they've done that has worked before and what hasn't worked. And we do not joke in our community about how much tin whistle is crappy, because honestly, we don't believe that. So we have managed to maintain in our community, it's just like any other art quarter, and it's great and wonderful, and we don't joke about it being terrible. So, joking is fun. There's some really hilarious memes out there about tin whistles, but I just encourage you to set the tone of being happy and encouraging about it. And that is all I have for you guys. Have a wonderful tin whistle quarter.